This is an episode I call Lessons from Ohio Blue Tip Matches. Now, my neighbor Travis and I were talking the other day, and he mentioned that he enjoys writing, but always likes to include a little lesson learned in each of his writings. So I thought that's a great idea, and hence, in this story, Fire, I decided to call out 3 simple lessons. Now, most of my life, I've had a fascination with fire. Honestly, it's there, but you can't touch it, you can't grab it, you can't put it in a bottle, yet it's real. I mean, you just try and describe it to someone. Very hard to do. So this is a story of what I learned about fire at the age of 8 and 3 lessons to take away from it. My home in Fairview Park, Ohio, it had a detached garage, one that could hold 2 cars and various other items like yard tools and other odds and ends. And in our garage, that included an old maroon bench seat taken out of the back of some discarded vehicle. I don't know what it was doing there, but it was there. And it rested in the back of the garage where we also had parked the Comet station wagon and a dusty yellow old van with the words Flash Meats scripted on the side. The van was used by my dad to deliver meats throughout Cleveland. Now, he was running a business that didn't last very long, and the van had been sitting in the garage, parked backwards, nose facing out, since about 1962 when the business went bankrupt. Now, my older sisters were able to abscond with some Ohio Blue Tip matches from the kitchen and hide them behind the old bench seat. And one sunny summer afternoon, with nothing to do, because school was out, my dad was working, and my mom was on some errand, my sister suggested we pull out the matches and light a piece of paper on fire. Set paper on fire? Sure. So with small slips of paper in my hand, she took out a blue tip match, struck it on the side of the box, lit it up. I held the paper in my hand and she lit it on fire, and we watched it burn. Now, I knew enough to know that you don't want it to burn all the way down to your fingers, I was young, 8 years old, but not that dumb. So when it burned about halfway, I'm going like, okay, whoop, throw it. I threw it into a wheelbarrow that was in the back of the garage next to that maroon bench. Now, we did that again with another piece of paper and then a third, each time getting a little closer to my fingers before I ditched it into the wheelbarrow. About the time we lit the 4th piece of paper on fire, I smelled smoke, more smoke, and turning, I saw that the slips of paper hadn't gone totally out. They were still burning in the wheelbarrow. In fact, they had caught a bag that was in the wheelbarrow on fire. Lesson number 1, don't play with fire. It can easily and quickly get out of hand. Now, by the time the 4th piece of paper was burning down, it became obvious we had not really thought ahead about what to do if we caught something else on fire. We didn't think that would really happen. But as I dropped that 4th piece of burning paper into the wheelbarrow, we saw what was happening. The bag in the wheelbarrow had caught fire and we didn't have a way to put it out. The wheelbarrow, which held a bag of fertilizer for the lawn, was on fire, and smoke started filling up the back of the garage. Now, it was only later in life did I realize that, fertilizer, it's got nitrogen in it, which helps plants grow. And many fertilizers contain ammonium nitrate. It's a highly explosive compound. In fact, it was used by Timothy McVeigh when he blew up an entire federal building in Oklahoma City in 1995. Fire. Yikes. Lesson number 2. If you do end up playing with fire, don't do it next to or anywhere near a bag of fertilizer, especially not next to a wheelbarrow full of fertilizer. Now, so as smoke started filling up the garage, it began to pour out of the front of the garage. Fortunately for us, our next door neighbor just happened to be out in his backyard and noticed the smoke billowing out of the garage. He ran over into the garage, grabbed the wheelbarrow, took it out to the driveway. He ran and grabbed the backyard hose and quickly doused the flames before anything exploded. We were a bit shaken up, but safe, until my mom came home, found out what had happened. She was mad. She asked us, "What are you thinking? Lighting fire next to the gas tank of the van? You have blown up the van, the garage, and yourselves. Wait till your father gets home and hears what you did. He's gonna give it to you." Yikes. We were now terrified, waiting slowly for our punishment. Lesson number 3. If you do happen to play with fire and end up lighting a bag of fertilizer on fire, do not do it close to the gas tank of a car that might explode. Those are the 3 lessons today. I've now lived 60 more years past that Ohio Blue Tip episode in my life. Some wonder, including myself, that given such a story like that, as well as other stories in my life, how I actually made it this far. I'm glad that I have. I hope they are glad as well. And I recommend not playing with fire, and if you have to make one while camping, do it safely.